Are you sure about that? Because I have some questions, like, what kind of ending was that? And what kind of beginning was that? We got some stuff to discuss. What's up, you guys, and welcome back to Stalk My Life 101. Today is Monday, which can only mean one thing. It's time for Movie Mondays! And today we are reviewing The Avengers. Oh person. So before we get into this review, I must preface this video by saying I am not a hardcore superhero person, okay? I have never been to Comic-Con. This is the first Avengers movie I've ever seen in my life. So, this review is not going to be biased by any means because I am not a Marvel fan. Just because I feel like to say you're a Marvel fan means that you read the comics and you're well versed with the characters, and I am not. However, I did see the review for this movie, and my wife, my husband, my side husbands, side chicks, they were all up in this movie, so I was like, your girl gotta see this movie. Oh, P.S. This is spoilers, so if you have not seen The Avengers yet, I suggest you don't watch this video. You are not gonna curse me out in the comments, because you watched this video and didn't read the fact that it said spoilers. You read it, you've been warned. Okay, go watch one of my other reviews. Are you ready? Let's begin. So we're gonna do it section by section. I'm gonna just review each section of the movie. The whole point of this movie is Thanos is trying to get all these gems on his like little fancy 80s thriller glove, okay? And basically we see the Avengers and some add-ons, but they're not all together, they're all in different groups. So we have two groups that are in space. So the first group that are in space is Groot, Thor, and Rocket. And they go to find this man who built Thor's, like, hammer, because his hammer got completely blown up to smithereens. Just so he needed a new one. So they go off to that man so that way he can get a new hammer, which ends up to be an axe. Then the second half is the rest of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So like Mantis, Gamora, frickin', I always forget his name, but like he's played by Batista, Will. They go off to another part of the galaxy, and they are met, and they meet for the first time, and then team up and are accompanied with Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man. How did I forget my husband? Husband is bang. He is zombie. No, I'm kidding. He's not. But he is. He's my husband. And they are in another part of the space world, but they are dealing directly with Thanos. Okay? Then, like, they're on land, and there's, like, a group on land, and on land we see Captain America, we see Scarlett Johansson, we see this man that's got one of the gems in his forehead, and his little redhead girlfriend that's red beams in her hands like that, along with the whole tribe of Wakanda. They're on Earth in Wakanda, dealing with Thanos' goons, because Thanos' goons are on Earth while he's in space trying to covet the more important stone, right? And then the Hulk is in this movie, but not really. So apparently I did not realize that the Hulk is two different people in one entity. I did not know that. I thought that the Hulk was this man, and every time he got mad, he turned green. But apparently, no, he's not. He is the Hulk, and then there's the man. And I think his name was Bruce. He looked like a Bruce. Not a Bruce Wayne, but like a Matilda Bruce, if you know what I mean. So, the whole entire movie, he himself is by himself trying to talk the Hulk to come out, because in the beginning of the movie the Hulk took a pretty bad beating. He did. He really, really did. He took a bad beating, and now the Hulk, you know, he's having these like he got his manhood taken away kind of an issue thing. You know what I'm trying to say. So those are the separate groups. So basically, in the movie of Avengers Infinity, Groot, Rocket, and Thor successfully, with much trial and tribulation, do get his axe. So that way he can try and stop Thanos, right? But Thanos is trying to get this one stone. I think it was called like the Infinity Stone. I don't remember what it was called, but it was the white stone. And Gamora knew how to get it. Now, Gamora told Will, if anything should ever happen to me, I need you to kill me because I know something that Thanos needs to know or wants to know. And if he finds out what it is, we are all SOL. So if Thanos ever gets a hold of me, just kill me. So obviously, while they're on this little planet thingy thing, Thanos does get a hold of her. And, you know, Will is now at this crossroads. Do I kill Thanos or do I kill Gamora? And Gamora was like, you promised. So Will is like struggling really, really hard. And Thanos is obviously egging him on. And he's like, what kind of man are you? Like, you can't even do something simple that your girl is asking you to do. Like, you're a jerk. So he finally goes to like shoot Gamora, and Gamora's like, just know I love you more than anything. I'm like, bruh, that doesn't make it any easier for him to kill you. You're an a-hole for that. That was an a-hole move, Gamora. Gamora, you're my wife. Zoe Saldana, you my wife, girl. You're welcome. But that was an a-hole move. I'm just saying. Move? That was an a-hole move. Just saying. So he goes to shoot Gamora, and Thanos turns the bullets into bubbles because it's Disney, so obviously it gets turned into bubbles. And he takes Gamora. He takes Gamora back to his place where her sister, I think her name was Nebula, or maybe I'm thinking of Xenon, but her sister was there, and her sister is a robot, because if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2, you know she's a robot. And he pretty much had her parts somewhat disassembled, and he's stretching them out, and he's like, if you don't tell me what I want to know, I'm gonna release her. And she's like, I don't know where the stone is. And he plays a memory from her sister's brain from Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where she said she knew where it was. So she said, fine, I'll take you to save her sister. They get there, spoilers. They get there, and the only way for him to get that stone is if he sacrifices something that he loves. So then he starts crying, and Gamora thinks, finally, you have just gotten your just desserts. My whole entire life, you have been trying to just kill. And finally, the world is telling you, the universe is telling you, you can't have it because you don't love anything. And he turns around and looks at her, and he's crying, and she's like, oh, what are you crying for now? What kind of tears are those? And the man who was the informant and said, you know, the only way that you can get the stone is if you sacrifice the thing you love the most, he looks at Gamora and goes, he ain't crying because he's not getting that stone. He crying for you. And Gamora's like, what? And he goes, I'm sorry, little one. And he grabs her, and she realizes what's about to happen. And she tried to fight him really hard, but he threw my wife over that cliff, and he got the stone. And when he got the stone, he came back to the little island with the rest of the people that I told you about, you know, with like the rest of the Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, Strange, and Iron Man. So he comes back there, and they kind of like have made this sneak attack plan. And Doctor Strange does this thing where he goes and opens like some sort of portal so people can jump in and out. So he has Spider-Man jumping in and out of portals at different angles, punching him and stuff like that, right? Then when he's not broken, but when he's a little slightly torn down, Mantis comes out of a hole on top of him and puts him in a sleep stem or whatever, and they try to pull the sleeve off of him. And Will is like, where's Gamora? The sister is there, and the sister knows. So he's like, where's Gamora? And Mantis is all like, he is strong and he has sorrow. She's like a high-pitched wren, actually. And he's like, where's Gamora? And Iron Man is like, bro, now's not the time. Just get the thing off of him and then you can find out where your woman is. So then her sister goes, he has the stone and Gamora's not here. And Will is like, well, what does that mean? And she's like, he has the stone and Gamora is not here. You have to sacrifice someone to get the stone. So now Will starts to spaz the frick and frack out. And he starts just punching Thanos in the face. Why? Because this is called crime in the heat of passion. And Iron Man stops helping Spider-Man from pulling the sleeve off and is like trying to stop Will. He's like, no, stop. You're gonna break Mantis's concentration. We're never gonna get it off. You need to stop. You need to stop. Like, let's get it off and then we can handle him however you want to handle him. And he's really trying to calm Will down, but Will is so upset because he really, really does love Gamora. And he took Gamora away from her. Like, what kind of ish is that? So, Spider-Man is like, yo, it's loose. I think I got it. But he hit him hard. He hit him really hard. And Mantis flies off. He regains his power and his strength. And he blasts. Like, he blasts out. And this idiot had the nerve to be like, oh my God, did we lose? Like, no crap, Sherlock. Obviously. Now, I'm not mad at him for beating the crap out of Thanos. He killed your girl. I get it. You loved her. She's dead. Give it up for my Shawty Renee. I mean, I get it. But, bruh, you should have just waited. They almost had that thing off of Thanos. But you couldn't have waited. You couldn't have waited. Beating the crap out of him, as good as it might have felt, was not going to bring Gamora back. So, let's just pause on what happens after that, right? We're going to pause that. On land, okay, somehow Hulk gets to Wakanda. And I told you all the people that was on Wakanda land, you know. You have Captain America, you got Scarlett Johansson, you got all the Wakanda people, and you have... you got Bruce, and they put him in this suit that kind of reminds me of the Power Rangers when they are in this big machine, man. They have him in that, and one of the guys, the guy that has a stone in the head, they have the sister of the chief, I guess, of the island or the land of Wakanda. They have her trying to remove the stone from his head because he's like, if we can remove the stone from my head, then we can destroy the stone. And that'll be one less stone he doesn't have. He's still gonna be powerful. But I guess it's like, okay, I'd rather him only be like 4 out of 5 most powerful, I guess. That was their mode of thinking. So she's trying to remove the stone. And they put a force field around all of them. But Thanos' goons that were on land starts to attack them. And they're like, if they go around us and attack from the back, then we're basically SOL. So they're like, well, let's let them in and we'll just fight to the death. So they kind of open the shield a little bit and let them in, and they start fighting and everything else. And while all this is happening, on the other side of the galaxy, Thor and them is still trying to get that axe made. There's a lot of stuff happening. And they start fighting them, right? So they're just fighting all these things. And the girlfriend has some sort of power. And she was watching over everything because her power matches the guy's power of the stone. And she's supposed to destroy the stone, right? So she sees that it's not getting any better. There's too many of them because they were like little roaches. Like, they came in that force field like roaches. Like, it was actually really disturbing because I don't like bugs, and just came in like roaches. And, you know, she's like, hold on, let me just go help them. She comes and she blasts the bejesus out of them, and then all of a sudden Spice Force 5 shows up because it's Scarlett Johansson, her, and the black main chick from Wakanda, and they are fighting the blue chick that's trying to kill her, which is one of the goons of Thanos's. And while they have her and she's distracted, they go off to where the man with the stone is and the sister who's trying to remove it. And ultimately Thor comes down with his little axes and he starts just boom, 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 thunder and blowing up all them little roachy looking thingies. And they grab the guy and they tumble outside. Now, back up on the other side, something happened and all of them, oh, he has, what was it? He had gotten this stone, right? Somehow. And Doctor Strange had somehow gone through his head and said that there was over 1,000 different ways that this could all play out. And Iron Man was like, well, how many of them do we win? And he said only one, but he never specified which one. So at some point while they're in outer space, I don't remember exactly when, because like I said, it was a lot of going back and forth, he gives him the stone to spare the life of Iron Man, because he had actually killed Iron Man. Like, he literally had killed Iron Man. And all I could think was, yo, Gwyneth Paltrow is really about to whoop. In the wise words of Mantis, if Iron Man did not make it home alive, okay, Gwyneth Paltrow was going to whoop names and take A's. That's what she was going to do. See the movie to get the reference, okay? And so he gave him the stone, he spared the life. Once he gave him the stone, Thanos had officially had all the stones, right? So now, this is the real messed up part. So the redhead chick actually kills the guy to kill the stone. She destroys the stone, which ultimately kills him. Thanos comes to land and he snaps his finger, rewinds it, and snatches his own out of his head and kills him anyway. He now has all the freaking stones, and everybody, not everybody, but like half the people in the universe started like turning into little pebbles and disappearing. It was almost like the scene from The Green Mile. Like, they just, and everybody was confused AF. Everybody was confused. It was like, wait, what? What just happened? The main guy from Wakanda, well, naturally, he disappeared. We all know why. He disappeared. The saddest part was Spider-Man. That's what it was, because Strange had given him his stone first. Then he went to Wakanda, and he went to go get it from the guy who had it in his head. And that's how it all happened. Because once he had the last stone, people started disappearing. They started to show all the people disappearing, and freaking Spider-Man, this was like literally the saddest part, because Spider-Man had just became an Avenger in the movie, like not even an hour before he disappeared. And he said, yo, Tony, something's happening. And he grabs Tony and he realizes what's happening. And he's like, I don't want to go. And Tony lays him down, and then he says, I'm sorry, and he disappears. It's like literally the saddest thing. So the leader from Wakanda disappears, Spider-Man disappears, Gamora's just dead. She's dead. She's dead. And I'm not accepting it. I'm not accepting that Gamora is dead. I don't accept it. If I don't have to accept it, it cannot be true. If Donald Trump, as the President of the United States, can say, I'm just not going to deal with criminal justice, then I can say I do not accept Gamora's death, because I don't accept it. Gamora is dead. Half the people start disappearing from Wakanda and from, like, the universe. Tony looks at Doctor Strange, and he was like, I told you there was only one way we were going to win. Then there's credits. But if you are a true Marvel fan, or if you've seen enough Marvel movies, then you need to know, or you must know, that you stay until the end. In the end, we see Samuel L. Jackson with that patch on his eye, and a car just kind of comes in front of him, and the girl in the other seat was like, bruh, what just happened? Because he crashes like in front of him. She looks, there's nobody in the car. All of a sudden you start seeing like cars crashing. This is taking place in New York. They have the nerve to have the helicopter go into a building. I'm like, bruh, still too sensitive, 9/11, not cool. And he starts to see, like, she disappears. She herself turns into the brick and disappears. And he pulls out this futuristic pager and he begins to page something, but then he starts to disappear. He drops the pager. The camera hits the floor. Well, the pager hits the floor. The camera goes down, zooms into the floor, and then like a logo pops up. And I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Of course, Courtney knew what that meant because Courtney watches all these Marvel movies. And she was like, he just called Captain Marvel. And I was like, whoa, 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 what? Marvel isn't just the name of the brand. Marvel is actually a hero too. And she was like, girl, you got so much to catch up on. And I was like, girl, you ain't lying. Because I was lost. So, that was the whole entire movie. It only took 37 takes, but we got there. So, the movie was a really good movie. I enjoyed it immensely. I'm not surprised I enjoyed it because, to be honest, Marvel movies are really good. I don't really know why I don't watch more. I think it's because I get attracted to certain things in previews that draw me in and make me want to see it. And that depends on how they advertise it, how they market it. It also depends on what my interest is at the time that I'm seeing it, or where I am in my life and how I'm feeling in my life, I guess you can say at that point. And also who's in it. Like I said, you know, Spider-Man's my husband, Gamora's my wife, Iron Man is one of my side chicks, Will from Guardians of the Galaxy, he's also one of my side chicks, you know. So I saw all my baes in the movie and I was like, I have to see this movie. And I was really glad that I did see the movie. The movie was well done. It was well done. And for someone that has never seen an Avenger movie in her life, I was still able to follow what was happening. I was able to follow the story. Did I know the characters? Not all of them, but I was still able to actually follow the story, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? I'm sure you know what I mean, because you know what I mean. It was just really good. I just did not like how it ended. Like, I didn't like there has to be another Avengers movie. The movie is called Avengers Infinity War, right? Which means infinity. Let's break it down. What does that mean? It means infinite, constantly going, never an end, an endless progression, a circle, unbroken. It's infinite. So in theory, obviously, this is gonna forever be an ongoing war, kind of like good versus evil. That is gonna be an ongoing war until the day there is absolutely nobody left in the universe. So, I don't think that they're dead. Like, I feel like Gamora might be dead. And I feel like the only way we can get Gamora back is if, like, we use one of them gemstone thingy things. She's definitely dead. But, like, the rest of them, I kind of feel like they dissipated into another, like, world. Almost like in Once Upon a Time, in the Sleeping Curse. They're asleep in that realm, but in reality, they're inside of this fire-infested room. It's been really weird. So I don't feel like they're physically dead. I'm just not accepting that Gamora is dead, and I'm not accepting it. This is the end of the movie. And I definitely want to see what's going to happen next. And I really hope that they do another Marvel movie. And Courtney researched it, and she said that there is supposed to be another Marvel movie coming out either next year or in 2020. Can you believe we are so close to 2020? Whoa. Tangents. This is why my videos are so long. But you love it. Anyway, that is all I have for this Movie Mondays. You know what to do. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, or if you enjoyed me and you want to see more from me, then you definitely need to be part of the Gigi Meister Merpod Squad and come swimming with us on all of our adventures. How am I to do that, you're probably thinking? Well, it's simple. All you have to do is rate, comment, subscribe, and share, because sharing is caring, and I'll be seeing you in my next video. Loves and likes ya. Bye!
Wakanda forever and never to part. Wakanda forever, it's true. And don't you know I would move heaven and earth to make Wakanda forever MCU.